behind the Engineered in India brand, but has been a driving force behind the global success of the organization. He is the Chairman Board of Governance IIT Hyderabad and IIT Roorkee. As the visionary founder director of T-Hub, his insights have been instrumental in shaping innovation ecosystems, fostering the growth of startups. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the esteemed Mr. BVR Mohan Reddy Garu onto the dais.
It's indeed an honor and pleasure to address you on this special occasion of T-Hub celebrating its 8th anniversary. As the founding director, I have seen how T-Hub has grown over years. And certainly, to me, T-Hub is an epitome of public-private partnership. We see the people who played a critical role at the leadership level. To start with, the state government and the leader had the vision in making sure that further it got executed with the leadership of Jayesh Garu and the rest of the team in the government. Thereafter, if you see the further participation, the best of academic institutions which are in Hyderabad participated through their involvement in the growth of T-Hub. Whether to start with, it's Triple IT, PJ Narayanan, Professor PJ Narayanan is here, or ISB, Professor Ajit Rangnekar is here, or we are missing some of them from ISB or from the Nalsar University. But equally important is the role played by the corporate world, the private corporate world. People like Srini Raju, who is here, Sashi Reddy, and a few others have also been very, very critical role they played in making sure T-Hub is where it is today. But it's just not the people who have been on the board. To me, any institution's success is largely driven by leadership. And being very fortunate to have 3 rounds of leadership changes, all right, but at the same time, leadership which was exemplary. To start with, we had Srini Kulipara and J. Krishnan. That was the first round I had. The second round, we had Ravi. And now we have an outstanding CEO in MSR, or Mahankali Srinivasarao Garu. So I think any institution, if you look at it, leaving apart the board has more relevance and role to play in terms of governance, strategy, vision. These are the things. But on the ground, the execution is done by the CEO. So I like to congratulate MSR, especially for providing the leadership for the last 3 years. Outstanding job, MSR. Congratulations to you. And we certainly want to acknowledge, look at the infrastructure that got created. I didn't see Jayesh Garu, so I didn't want to call out his name. But I'd like to congratulate Jayesh Garu and on behalf of T-Hub, thank him for all the support he provided over the last 8 years to build the T-Hub in what it is. So join your hands to thank Jayesh Garu. And of course, you know, we talked about how ecosystem helped us where it is today. There are several ecosystem players, whether it was the mentors, or it's the financial advisors, or the people who helped us in terms of investing, the venture capitalists. All of them had an extremely important role, and we like to express a sense of gratitude to all of them for building this outstanding institution, which anywhere you'd like to count it, any way you want to count it, it's the best institution for a startup ecosystem in the country today. Hopefully, I will see this institution grow to be one of the best in the world in coming, say, 5 years or 10 years. That's the objective or the vision that we have to lay for T-Hub. Given the opportunity that I have in terms of talking to my dear friends from startups, let me share a few thoughts with you, 3 of them to be more precise. The first one is, how many of you use generative AI? Can you put your hands up, please? In your day-to-day life. Perfect. That's reasonable. How many startups use generative AI in their offerings? Can you put up your hands up, please? I just saw 1, 2. There are about 3, 4 of them that have come up now. That is somewhat disappointing to me, because I believe that AI is going to be the game changer for all of us, irrespective of the industry, the product, the service that you're in years to come. Who I think MSR said, Narayan Murthy believed only in terms of numbers, so do I. And I have a few numbers to share with you. If you look at the influence of AI at this point of time, which is now performing as good as human beings, the first example is handwriting recognition. I believe for handwriting recognition, AI tools from ground zero, it took 20 years to come to where we are today. It does 100% recognition. It's equal to a human being. The second one I have is speech recognition. It also took 20 years to do that. But there are 3 other areas I like to call out, which actually at this point of time are exceeding the performance of human beings. 3 of them that are there at 120% efficiency than a human being. The first one is the image recognition. That's at 120% efficiency of a human being. And you see this happening extensively in a number of fields. I actually happened to meet with 2 very eminent doctors who use technology to its best. They're the leading edge technology at this point of time. Professor Leroy Hood, who was here last week and spent time with Jayesh Garu also, and another gentleman called Dr. Joseph, what's his last name? I think it's Sir Joseph Suji, I guess. He's a Chinese guy from Nanyang Polytechnic Institute. And both of them talked about healthcare being today enabled by AI. They think 5 years from now, any doctor anywhere in the world, any doctor anywhere in the world will have to have a AI assist tool with them. So, but what we are seeing further is just not that AI has certainly been assisting people, but the pace at which it's assisting people. Let me call out 3 examples. I believe right now, no-code code generation for any application today can be done to the level of 70% efficiency of human beings, and that was achieved in just 4 years. We believe that it can get to 100% fairly soon. Or the grade school math got to a level of 80% efficiency of a human being, like a high school child. You give a math problem, it solves exactly as what a student would do, and it just took 6 months to get to that level of efficiency. And lastly, if you get the common sense completion, which is at 100% right now, you get to give 3 bullet points, and you get 3 paragraphs as an output. Absolute accurate paragraphs. And that has taken nothing more than 3 months to do, from 0 to 100% today. So therefore, AI is going to be everywhere. So it has become a de facto standard in any application that you do. So here is one more one more set of data that I have for all of to share with you. Is Goldman Sachs did this research in terms of going back and finding out how many of their clients would use AI in their applications, and what is the likely spend in each one of the sectors that they've identified. They think in medical, media, and telecom, 90% of their clients are expecting AI to be used. and the impact is very high, and the likely benefits they believe will come to this set of industries, which technology, media, and telecom, is as much as $860 billion. And if you look at the second one in my list, is industrials have an acceptance level of, they all expect 40% of the customers believe that AI will play a role in industries. And that impact is somewhere in the range of about $500 billion. If you look at a few other industries like healthcare, which is a very high impact industry too, it's about $260 billion. And thereafter it's financial services, consumer retail, real estate, and then you have natural resources. The sum total of savings customers are expecting out of AI usage is right now $3.2 trillion in these named industries. So obviously, people have a lot of expectations for AI to be used and a lot of money to spend on you. If they're expecting so much of savings to happen, obviously they will do a lot of spend. So my first takeaway to my young friends here is that please use AI. AI is all over the place. It has to get into your offering too. And truly, I think MSR or one of them said that Hyderabad has to become the India's AI capital. And if that vision has to be true, if that dream has to be true, I think we have to definitely start with our startups too. My second piece of advice to all of you is that we have seen how the talent wars are going on at this point of time. The largest IT services company in this country, which is 500,000 people strong, were losing at 26% on a yearly basis, which is roughly, to give you a flavor, which means that they lose about 125,000 people every year, or they lose about 10,000 people every month. Every month, trust me. This is all public data. So obviously the startups are also under enormous amount of pressure. You may not reveal it to me, but I know with the startup ecosystem that I work, how much pressure you have with the talent. So therefore, I think startups have to pay a lot of attention to your talent. Your ability to recruit them, retain them, reward them, retrain them, that's equally important, is going to be very critical for your success. So please do not ignore the talent part of it. We are seeing several of them suffering today because of attrition on talent. And one sure way, and please don't be miserly on that, please be liberal in terms of trying to share wealth with the wealth creators. The wealth creators for your startup is going to be the people. It's going to be the talent. So if you ask me the question, Mr. Reddy, how much have you shared? In just one company, that we have 2 publicly traded companies, it is all documented again, we so far shared 1,000 crores with our employees. That's what we did. So talent is the second one. So please nurture talent, recruit the best, retain them, reward them, and retrain them. My last takeaway for you this evening is on governance. And I think the future of this world will all depend upon the ESG, environment, social, and governance. I will not spend time on ES part of it, but governance is, I think, extremely important for even early stage startups. The simple reason for it is it doesn't require any effort. It requires only one thing in my mind. It requires discipline with you. I was so disappointed today that a startup where I'm invested sends me last year's balance sheet, that's 2023, the year closing on 31st of March. It landed on my email this morning. I do not understand why people should take reasonably successful, not that it's not an unsuccessful startup. To me, only one thing comes to my mind is lack of discipline. And you have to recognize, by putting the right levels of governance, there are enormous amount of benefits that could come to you. Look at your own P&L. Large companies, mine is not large, I would probably be somewhere in the medium-sized company that I am, We get our P&Ls every month before the 10th of the month. Every month. And with a revenue profile which is somewhere in the range of about 500 to 600 crores a month. That's what our run rate is. If we could do it, I do not see why a startup should not be doing it. And what we have seen is it is actually not benefiting the investor, but it will benefit you itself, because you then realize what you need to do next because of your performance. But people wait for 3 months. Actually, we have some of the companies there I'm involved with, we have our quarterly board meetings. And even the quarterly board meetings do not happen after the quarter closes. It happens about 45 days, 60 days after the quarter closes. So I'm only trying to tell you is that we do not want too many calamities of people driving their businesses as they like. I'm sure I don't want to name the company, you know, an edtech company where valuation dropped from $22 billion to $4 billion in the recent past. Or sorry, I'll take it back, $2 billion in the recent past. Or today morning we saw a payment gateway company where, you know, the founders took away money left, right, and center, writing checks as they like. If you had governance, you have truth, and you know, this is not short-term game. Please believe in that. It's a long-term game. If you think you will definitely make money at the end of it, not necessarily upfront loading it. So I'll leave these 3 thoughts with you. Technology is all pervasive. AI is going to be the future of the universe. Talent is going to be critical for all of our success. Governance will take you to places in years to come. So thank you very much to T-Hub for giving me this opportunity. Congratulations to T-Hub team for their outstanding work that they've done. There are a number of people, number of faces I can recognize around me. And we wish you all good luck. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.